It's another Get Real with Ashleydawn. I'm Ashleydawn and I want to get real with you. So, recently I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life. So, a couple things that have went on. I've gotten interviewed for several magazines. I've gotten interviewed for magazines. I've gotten interviewed for podcasts. I'm getting ready to go to Atlanta to speak at a women's conference. I was in a couple magazines. I was in a couple online blogs. Listen, things have been happening. Oh, and then my fashion, because I have several different things that I do. So, most people don't know that I work several jobs. That I get off of one job and I go to a next, and I get off of that job and I go to a next, and I'm constantly doing stuff. I'm constantly trying my best to do the best that I can to provide for my mom and I. So I know that I was working out this morning, and that's another thing. A lot of people are like, how do you stay in shape? You know, you have your food blog. How do you stay in shape? I work out every single day, 5 o'clock in the morning. Every day. And then sometimes I work out at other times of the day too, if I can. So the thing is, so I went to work out this morning, and my trainer Alexis, who's also one of my closest friends, was saying, your online stuff, your videos, your TikToks, your Reels, your Instagrams, your Facebooks, whatever is curated. It's a picture of a moment. It's not the whole moment. It's a picture of the moment. If I did a videotape, say I just turned my little phone on and I did 24 hours in the life of Ashleydawn, most people would be tired by the first, 6 hours, because I'm doing so much, and so much is going on in my mind for so many different things, and there's so many different moving parts that people would be like, oh my gosh, I had no idea you did so much. Yeah, because I don't talk about it. I don't brag about myself at all. Tim Tebow is really big on that. He says, let another mouth praise you, not your own lips, not your own words. And that is biblical. It's in the Bible. I forget what quote it is, but if you look it up, just Google, let another praise you, not your own lips, not your own mouth. It'll pop up where it's found. Anyway, I am not bragging about myself. I'm not going to share every single win that I have, every single thing that I do. I won a trophy the other day. Did anybody know about it? No, because I haven't posted about it. There's so many things that happen in my life on a daily basis that nobody knows about. There's so many different things because I don't share. Because I'm not trying to have the spotlight on me. I live my life to put the spotlight on Jesus. Ashleydawn, how do you do that? Well, I try to represent him with my actions, with my words, with how I live my life. That's what Christians are supposed to do. They're supposed to be Christ representatives. They're supposed to show Christ's love to the world, and that's what I try to do. At no point do I want to make my name famous. At no point do I want to be like, hey, everyone, look how awesome I am. Look at me. I don't. That's why, for the most part, I don't post things when I win stuff or when I do something or when I accomplish something. For the most part, sometimes I do, but for the most part, I don't. There's a million things that are happening on a daily basis that nobody knows about except my mom, because that's my best friend and she knows everything. Anyway, so many people have messaged me or called me or reached out to me and been like, oh my gosh, Ashleydawn, I want what you have. I want your life. I want to go speak with you. I want to go travel with you. I want to go. And it was funny because one of the girls that reached out to me, and I'm not throwing shade to anybody, I'm just being real and I'm just being honest. I'm never going to share names because that's their business. But one of the girls was like, Ashleydawn, I really want to travel with you. You travel all over. Like, how is that possible? And I'm like, well, sometimes I go with a friend. Sometimes I go for work. Sometimes I go for speaking. Good night. Sometimes I go for speaking. Sometimes I go for different things. These freaking people do not know how to stink and drive at all. So frustrating. Good night. Anyway, they slam on their brakes. Nobody knows how to drive. Everyone's cutting each other off. They're swerving in and out of traffic. So some people are like, Ashleydawn, how do you travel? Well, sometimes it's for work. Sometimes my job pays me to travel. Sometimes it's a brand that says, hey, we want you to come out and check out our business. We want you to check out our restaurant, whatever, and they pay me to do it. Sometimes I'm speaking and the church or the organization is paying me, and so they pay everything. Anyway, one of the girls is like, I want to go with you. And I said, that's awesome. I would love company. A lot of times I go places by myself. And I sent her the invoice of all the costs, like the lodging, the hotel, well, that's a lodging, the food, whatever. I sent her all of the costs, every single thing, itemized, and then I showed her how I split it in half. So I would pay for half, she would pay for half. This girl messaged me back and said, oh, that's too much. And I said, well, it's half of everything that I'm spending. And she said, well, I don't have any money. And I said, okay, well, you messaged me and said you wanted to go with me. And she said, yeah, but I didn't want to pay for it. Listen, I have realized everybody wants to go with you. Everybody wants to travel with you. Everyone wants to go out to eat with you. Everyone wants to do what you're doing until it requires them to do what you're doing, until it requires them to pick up their bill. Have you ever heard of fair weather friends, right? When it's sunny, everyone's there. When it's raining, who's going to hold your umbrella for you? It's the same thing, and I get so sick and tired of it, and that's why I really protect my personal time, and I really protect my peace. And if the person isn't pouring into me as much as I'm pouring into them, well, guess what? They're probably not going to see me a whole lot, because I'm going to pull myself back. When I realize that somebody is using me or taking advantage of me, I pull myself back. I will match your energy. If you are being kind and thoughtful and giving and you're generous with me, I'll do the same for you. But I'm not going to go out of my way to pay your way, to do stuff for you. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. And you say, well, why? Because you're not going to. I would never ask somebody to do something that I'm not personally doing. That's why my Gettin' Reels, I share things that I'm personally going through. I never say anything that I'm not personally walking through or I'm personally trying to overcome. I was talking to a friend last night and I was just like, what's the biggest thing you're trying to overcome right now? And he said, a few things that he was trying to overcome. And he's like, what about you? And I said, honestly, trust issues. I've been burned by a lot of people who claimed to have my best interest and did not. And so that has really wounded my heart and made me hesitant to trust people as freely and as openly as I did before. And I'm working through that. And he's like, well, can you tell me some stories of, who has broken your trust? And I'm like, I sure can. And I started telling him different stories of things that people have said and their actions that didn't match. And he's like, wow, yeah, I'd have severe trust issues if I went through what you went through. Like, how do you still have an open heart? How are you still so loving and so kind? And I'm like, because I choose to not let what people have done to me affect who I am. And he's like, well, that's good. He's like, but it affects how you treat them. And I said, of course. You don't go to a bank and deposit $100 and then withdraw $200. Why? Because there's not enough in there. Some friends, some people that come into your life want to deposit $100 into you and take $200 from you. And that's not how it works. You can deposit $100 and you can withdraw $100, and you can deposit $100 and you can withdraw $100. Or here's a kicker: you can deposit $500 and withdraw $100. How about that? How about you give more than you take? How about you give more? Are you gonna go? Are you turning? How about you give more than you take? How about you? No, see, people do not know how to drive. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Anyway, give more than you expect to get. Stop looking at everybody. What can I get from them? What can I take from them? How about you look at what can you give to them? How can you make their day better? How can you smile at them? How can you encourage them? How can you bless them? Stop looking at everybody like, what can I get from them? You go to somebody's house and you're like, ooh, I wonder what cool stuff they have to give me. You go in somebody's refrigerator and you're like, ooh, I wonder what kind of food they have. Maybe I can take some of their food. You look at somebody's Facebook and you see them doing something and you're like, ooh, maybe I can go with them next time. I can do this. give more than you plan to get. How about that? How about try that? Givers gain. When you give to others, it will be given to you. Ashleydawn, where did you get that awesome slogan? Did you get it from a t-shirt? No, I got it from the Bible. Every single thing I say has a seed of biblical truth in it. Everything. Google half of what I say and you'll find there's a seed somewhere in the Bible. So, where does that come from? It says, give and it'll be given to you, pressed down, shaken, pouring over. Givers gain? Wonder where you got that. Blessed is he who gives more than he receives. Wonder where you got that. The Bible. The Bible. The Bible is a miraculous book. If you read it, it'll change your life. Anyway. So, with all that to say, if you're looking at someone and you're looking at their Facebook and you're thinking, ooh, I can, you see them going somewhere and you're like, I can go with them. You see them doing something and you're like, I could do that too. You see them eating really good food and you're like, I want that food. Stop being so selfish and so self-centered that all you can think about is what you can get out of the equation. And I'm not saying it pointing fingers at people. Here's the deal. I've done it too at different points in my life. Especially with food. I see somebody eating food, maybe we're at a party or something, and I see somebody and I'm like, I hope they offer me some of that. That looks really good. Why am I so worried about their food? I should worry about my own food. Right? Stop worrying about what everybody else has and worry about what you have. And don't worry about it, but stop focusing on what everybody else has and focus on what you have. Focus on your blessings. Focus on what you're doing. Stop looking at everybody else. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Stop trying to get from them. Constantly taking and taking and taking and taking. Stop it. Stop trying to take from others. Start giving to others. Ashleydawn, what do you mean? Give a word of encouragement. Give a gift. Give a handwritten card. I love handwritten cards. I've wrote them my whole life. I used to have pen pals. It was like my favorite thing in the world. I love handwriting cards just to tell people, hey, I appreciate you. I'm thankful for you. Every person in your life is a blessing. I was talking to my neighbor this morning and they were talking about how they wanted to take their own life. Not right now, but in the past, and they were really struggling with that. Just feeling less than. We have no idea who is struggling with feeling like they don't belong, feeling like they don't matter. How about you go out of your way and you share with someone how appreciative you are that they exist. Look to the world as what you can give, not what you can get. Look at the world through an abundance mentality, not a lack mentality. It's so easy to be selfish. It's so easy to be self-centered and to be jealous and to constantly look at everybody else's life and to want what they have. But God doesn't have that for you. God has something else for you. And the quicker you focus on that, the quicker you wait and seek and ask God what He has for you, instead of looking at what He has for everybody else and wanting to take it from everyone, look at what you can give. Givers are more blessed than takers. Takers may have more stuff, but givers sleep better at night. Stop focusing on everybody else's life and what they have and what you don't and how you can get it for yourself. Work. Have goals. Go after them. Don't be lazy. If you want to travel, save up money and travel. If you want to speak, call places and ask if you can come and speak. If you want to write. Start writing and publish your book and put it on Amazon. If you want to be a photographer, I've had so many people that call me and say, Ashleydawn, I love your photography. I want to be a photographer. Get a camera and start posting your pictures. If you see me doing something, do it too. I don't care. I don't care if you copy me. My entire life, literally almost every person in my life has copied me with something at one point in time. I don't care. Copy me. Go ahead. I wish you the best. I will encourage you until I can't encourage you anymore. Seriously. You see something on my page, you're inspired by it, copy me. Tag me in it. Quote me in it. If you hear a word that I say and you're like, wow, I really like that, I want to share that on my page, go ahead, quote me. The other day, I posted a thing on my page where I said, business card trade. Put your business card and I'll give you mine. Let's help each other grow. Let's help each other's business. Let's help each other's finances. And a bunch of my friends were like, this is such a great idea. I'm going to do it too. And I said, go for it. Go for it. I'm glad my idea inspired you. Go for it. Listen, and I'm not bragging about this, but I am extremely secure as a person. I didn't even hear him. I am extremely secure as a person. Ashleydawn, how? Because my security is in Jesus. I am who He says I am. I don't have to be something I'm not. I am who He says I am. And so are you. Stop looking for validation from the world, from your stuff, from popularity. Stop it. You are a child of God. Let yourself be secure. Let your identity be rooted and grounded in who God says you are. Let that be your focus. Forget other people's opinions. People change their opinion and change their minds like they change their underwear. They change them every day. You cannot put your identity and put your worth in somebody else's hands. The only person that can have your identity and your worth is God. Because you'll be like a roller coaster. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Don't do it. If you're struggling with insecurity, go to a counselor. Work on that. Otherwise, you are going to project all your negativity on people that your negativity has nothing to do with. Get healthy. Get your mind right. Get your soul right. Get your emotions right. Focus on being healthy. Stop looking at everybody else, wanting what they have. Stop trying to get it for yourself. Well, if I just get close to this person, I'll have what they have. No, you won't. Unless you do what they're doing, you will never have it. You won't. If you don't wear the same size as me, you'll never be able to fit into my clothes. And here's a kicker. Everybody's body's different. Even if you can fit into my clothes, they won't look the same way on you that they do on me. And I'm not bragging about that. I'm just saying my clothes look the way they do on me because they're on me. Your clothes look the way they do on you because they're on you. You can't look at somebody else's life and want to put it on yourself. Okay? I hope that encourages you. Be a giver. Stop being selfish. Stop being self-centered. Stop letting that insecurity lie to you and make you think that if you had this, you'd be happy. If you did this, you'd be happy. If this person was around you, you'd be insert thing here. Be who God created you to be and let that be enough for you. Let it be enough for you. It's so easy to look at everybody else and to want what everybody else has. Stop it. It's not cute. It's not going to help you. It's not going to bless you. And it's going to push really awesome people away from you that otherwise you would have had a great relationship with. Okay? So that's my encouragement. Be a giver. Give one thing to somebody a day, whether it's a compliment, whether it's a gift, whether it's a handwritten card, whether it's something. Go out of your way to do something for somebody else without it benefiting you. Be outward focused. Look at others. Look at how can I bless someone else today? Not how can I be blessed, how can I bless someone else today? Whether it's going through your house and finding one thing that you can give away to somebody a day. Do it. I promise it'll change your life. I love you. More importantly, God loves you. My tagline, as always, you are seen, you are celebrated, and you are loved. The other day, Skylar, my friend, wrote that on her status. She did it in a different order. I think she did you are loved, celebrated, and seen. Anyway, but I was so happy that I inspired her to write that on her page. If you see something on my page, share it. I will not get mad. You can credit me or not. That's on you. I prefer if you credit me, but even if you don't, just put light into the world. Just put love into the world. Listen, I'm not trying to make my name famous. I'm trying to make God's name famous. So I love you. More importantly, God loves you. I know I already said that, but sometimes you got to say it again because people aren't listening the first time. I will catch you in my next one.